Welcome back to our Coach's Corner feature, our first for the upcoming school year. We featured volleyball. We also are going to feature on this show softball, and girls softball coach Jared Freeman is our special guest. Coach, second year for the softball gig?
Third.
Third year.
Third year,
I couldn't
yes.
remember, but the third year. The first year, I remember you were kind of like, okay, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
The second year, you got a little more into it. This has become more than just a job. It's kind of fun now, isn't it?
It is. It's a good group of kids that work hard, and we have a good time, and they play hard, and so, yeah, signed up for another year of it.
And I remember that because they kind of ask you at the last minute that first year, you're the baseball coach, and I know doesn't always work that way, but they ask you to go ahead and tackle that, which is pretty hard to do when you've got a young program, not a lot of winning tradition, you've got a field you've got to get ready. So you kind of jumped in there, but 3 years later, are you happy you did that?
Definitely. I mean, you're right. It's a lot of work. It's both of them are year-round programs with the fundraising and the field work and just everything that goes into running a 6A program. But I've enjoyed it, so it's definitely been a good experience for me.
Well, softball is one of those sports that actually starts before school starts. So where does the team stand right now, Coach?
We're 2 weeks into the season. We're at 7-2 right now. Split with Muskogee to start the season. Lost a game late to Muskogee that we wish we could have had back, and then lost to probably the number one team in the state of Wasso on last Thursday. But other than that, we're off to a decent start.
Well, the Wasso game, the final score really didn't tell the story of that game, did it, Coach? Because you could have won that game if you could have just got a break here or there. I think the final was 10 or 11 to nothing, but they scored all those runs in the last inning.
They did. I mean, it was 1-0 through 5 innings. Kind of like we told the kids, though. The final score is the final score. You got to play 7 innings with them, and everybody else across the state thinks it was 11-0. We know we competed with them, but I think the program's to the point now where we don't go down and congratulate ourselves for competing with them. We expect to compete with them, and we were disappointed in the outcome that we couldn't get out of that one inning, and it kind of snowballed on us. So we were definitely disappointed with that. But the good news is, since then, we've rattled off 6 straight wins, and if you ask me, we still haven't played well at all. I mean, we played one game where I would say we put it all together, and that was a 9-1 win over Claremore. Other than that, we haven't put all 3 phases of the game together yet, so that's kind of a good and a bad thing, I think.
The Claremore win, probably your best win of the season. Traditionally, they've got a strong program. Was that a game that maybe is the type of victory you're looking for, that you can point to during practice and say, if we play like that, we can beat the best teams?
Absolutely. I mean, they finished 3rd in our district last year. We finished 4th, so they're the team that was immediately above us last year. They've got all their starters back, kind of like we did. But yeah, I mean, when we pitch it well, when we play great defense, and when we put the ball in play and have quality at-bats, I think that's what we're capable of. I mean, obviously, it's easier said than done every day, but that's what I told the girls. That's the type of performance we're looking for on a more routine basis.
Your pitcher Clinton is now in her 3rd year of starting for you in the circle too, and she's really good. How good is she, Coach?
She's one of the best in the state. I mean, there's no denying that. She's a competitor. She competes really hard. We're glad we have her on our team. Last year she made first team all district. The Whitehorn girl from Owasso was the player of the year, but so in our district coach's eyes, she was the 2nd best pitcher in our district, which our district is, to me, the best top to bottom. So that's saying something. I mean, like I said, we're glad she's on our ball club.
Your catcher is a really good player too, and I think she's just a sophomore, Grimm.
JC Grimm, she's a sophomore catcher. Really somebody that battles. She plays the game the right way, plays hard. Whether she's 0 for 3 or 3 for 3, you're going to get JC Grimm's best, and I would say as a sophomore she's one of the better hitters in 6A, if not the state. And again, it's another player that we wouldn't trade for anybody. 9 games in, she's the catcher that we would choose to have.
And you do have a lot of those real good young players, don't you, Coach? I mean, there's a lot of things going on here than just going out and playing. You've got a lot of girls that kind of learning on the fly too, if you will.
We went over to the Perry tournament this weekend. We started 6 sophomores, 1 freshman, 1 junior, and 1 senior. So, when we're asking for that perfect game, sometimes you have to kind of take a step back and realize that you're talking about sophomores. But again, I've said it before, we don't talk about what grade they're in. We know they're good ball players, so we expect to compete, and it's not going to be an excuse that we have. And and there is no need to make an excuse for them because they usually compete pretty hard and pretty well for us. So we're excited about that.
Who's helping you with the softball program, Coach?
Stoney Parks is my assistant coach, working with the pitchers again, calling the game for Becca and for JC. Does a great job. Definitely glad he's back for the third year with me. And then Chinnis Lamarand is new to softball this year. He helped me out in baseball last year, and I talked him into joining my softball staff. He does a great job. Works hard, just getting in and learning on the run and doing a great job so far this year.
This week, can you highlight some games for us, Coach?
We've got a big one tonight with Broken Arrow at home. They'll probably be number 3 or 4 when the first rankings come out. So we know we've got a challenge that we've got to step up, but it's a good a good barometer of where we're at as far as when it gets to regional time. So hopefully we can put a complete game together and compete with them and come out with a victory. Tomorrow we go to East Central for a non-district matchup, and then Thursday we're at Sapulpa for a doubleheader for 2 more district contests. So we've got 4 games this week, which kind of a slow week for us.
I was going to say, and again, you cram about 4 months worth of play into a month and a half, don't you?
We do. It's hard and heavy. There's not a lot of time for practice, which at this point we're ready to play games anyways. But sometimes when you need to work on the small things, you don't get time to do that. But we'll have a couple days practice this week, and we can work on some things that we need to fix.
Did your kids handle the heat okay? We talk a lot of other sports, but your girls were right there when it was 115 degrees, getting ready for their season too.
We did. I mean, we worked out and ran all of June, played summer league games all of June, and then in July we went early to beat the heat, but we practiced all of July. There is no summer break for these girls, so they deserve a lot of credit for that, for sacrificing their summer break for our program. But they did great with it. I mean, we obviously got to preach the liquids and all that stuff, but we didn't have anybody miss 1 second of a practice for the heat, so that went well.
Congratulations. Good job, good start, and we look forward to visiting with you on Coach's Corner this year. Jared Freeman, our girls softball coach, on this week's edition of Coach's Corner.